The views of the guest are that of the guests and do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, the Recruiter Call channel, nor its host. This site content is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only.
So honestly, you want to know what is the percentage of new jack drivers who fail or quit in their first year of trucking? That's a very good question. I appreciate you sending that to me via the email. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, hit me up in the email. That's lockoutmenpodcastguest@gmail.com. And I will try my best to give you an opinionated answer, I guess. I guess that's what I can give you, because honestly, I'm not the guru here, and I don't portray myself as being a guru of trucking. Let's get into it.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Today's episode is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. More on them later. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. I am here with an opinionated answer to this episode that one of my followers had a question and they just sent it to me in my email. So to give you a specific number, I guess, I'm just going to say between 50%, right? And wonder why I'm saying that, because it could be more, it could be less, because there's a lot of successful first year new jacks that came out in trucking. But on the backside of that is a lot of you guys fail for reasons that you guys get into this industry based off of what somebody else has said. You see somebody up in their truck glamorizing trucking, glamorizing how much they're making, glamorizing that they could see the sights and sounds and everything like that. That may be a fair assessment for them, but ask them, what's the backside of trucking? What's the dark side of trucking? What's that about? You over here talking about all the pros in trucking, but you not giving not one con, not one. And there's plenty of cons in trucking. Now, on the offset, a lot of us old timers are a dying breed. We're retiring. A few of the old timers that's still driving, hell, they just driving because they like it. They really don't need to drive. I think their time of driving have already passed, and now they're just driving just to pass the time, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, they don't really need to. That's the example. They can come in, drive a couple of days, and then sit at home, sit on the beach, sit on a dock, or whatever the case, wherever they at. But for the new millennials that's coming in, because that is the next generation of trucking, and you already see the direction of the next generations of drivers are going to. They're not coming in with sterner stuff as the old timers came in. A lot of the old timers was kind of bred from family to family, father to son, son to father to son, son to his son, son to his son, and it just goes down the family tree. And drivers that's in the trucking family pretty much stay knit within that culture. My grandfather was a trucker. He poured it on to his son. His son grew up in the culture. He has a son. He brought his son into the culture. So that's how it is. But now the millennials, the 20-year-olds, the social media era drivers, they way different. They got technology now that everything they have to do, they have to put it online and share it with the world so they can get acclimated with other people that they don't even know. They have to get likes by other people that they don't even know. They have to vent or share their success with other people that they don't even know. Now, are they doing it for financial gain? Probably so, because a lot of the time when people put stuff on social media, they talk about going after the bag. People like me that talks about social media, I talk about it more so as a hobby. And I've been saying that for years. I don't make that much off my YouTube videos. Hell, I just got one sponsorship. Thanks, Ridge. I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me and having me to talk a little bit about the Ridge wallet. Looking for the perfect wallet? Meet the Ridge wallet. With thousands of colors and styles, there's a Ridge for everyone. It is designed for everyday use, keeping your essentials organized without the bulk. Whether you prefer the classic look or the bold look, you'll find a Ridge wallet that fits your style. Crafted with durable materials, the Ridge wallet is built to last with its FRID blocking technology, ensures your cards are safe, making it the perfect on-the-go lifestyle. Upgrade from your dad wallet to your new everyday carry. Discover the perfect match at ridgewallet.com. Embrace your style, functionality, and security. And don't forget, when you head over to the ridgewallet.com to make your first order, make sure you use my promo code YouTube10. With that, you would get 10% off your first Ridge wallet. Thank you, Ridge Wallet, for sponsoring today's episode. But as far as like trying to be a social media star, a famous social media person, yeah, that's the aspirations of the new Jack drivers that's here. Take a couple of female drivers. That's why you will see a lot more attention to them as what they are doing and what they are showing versus us old school drivers telling you about, well, how to do this or how to do that. And besides, let's think about it for a minute. Do you really want to see an old timer, with the exception of Smart Trucking? And I'd like to take this time out to send our condolences here on the Lockoutmen channel to Dave and his family. The loss of Dave was a shock to many, as Dave was the face of internet social media trucking after he had retired. Dave shared his 40 years of experience, had grew the channel to the success of where it's at, not doing garbage stuff as people doing on social media now when it's pertaining to trucking, but just being personable, being open, and being transparent about what goes on in the trucking industry. So rest in peace to Dave. Shout out to Smart Trucking. Our condolences goes out to Dave's family. I said it's about 50%, but I think it's due to at least two factors, right? One of the factors I already talked about, but we're going to continue with the conversation. So the first and foremost, and this is my opinion, so don't come after me, okay? But the first and foremost is recruiters. They all lie. I'm telling you, they all lie. And I talked to a lot of recruiters during the MTC series. A lot of recruiters. But let me tell you this. It's funny that about 50 to 55% of the recruiters that I have talked to during that series, about that percentage wise, are gone from the company that they was representing. A couple of bombshells was the young lady from Shipettes, the young man from Arter, and the young lady from CLE Transportation. Those were bombshell shocking, finding out that they had left the company after talking about how great and how you'll be a successful driver with that company, only to find out that they're gone and they're no longer with the company. And the reason why they left the company, because they had their own stories. And boy, oh boy, their stories of them leaving the companies is like, whoa. But yet, while you was with the company, you was glazing the company. Like this was the best thing since sliced bread type company. You know what I'm saying? But only to come to find out you up and left. And now it's like, oh, okay, that company was garbage since I've been there. So you was telling me that all that time that you was glazing the company, but You knew the inner workings? Well, I'm going to assume you're going to have to know the inner workings because you're in the office with them, right? And I'm sure you're not getting paid to not glaze the company, right? You're not getting paid for that, because if you wasn't glazing the company, if you wasn't bigging up the company, if you wasn't saying how good the company was or is, you're out the door. Your job is to glaze the company. And if you don't, you're gone. But who knew? But see, as I tell people, especially people that works for the company, yeah, if you have an issue, don't come out and try to put them on blast while you're still working for the company, because social media is seen by everybody. Somebody is going to see that video, and somebody is going to send that video to the upper management of that company, and somebody eventually going to call you up and going to ask you one or two things and an ultimatum. But the one or two things is, hey, we saw the video. We feel that if you feel this way about the video, can you take it down? And you say, well, no, it's my video. And besides, how did you see my video? My account's private. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could say something in a group chat. Somebody in there listening, they could screenshot, screen record, all that, and then put it all over the internet for the other people to hear. And that's how it's going to funnel back around to the higher ups of the company that you're driving for. Now, the ultimatum is, you don't take it down, you lose your job. But still, that's one of the factors. They lie, they feel, they tell untruths about the company just to get you in the seat. That's their job. That's how they get paid. And they're not going to not glaze the company to not get you in there. But again, that's their job. They paint a rosy picture. They give you a facade. They give you a dream by telling folks that you can make up to, key word here, up to $75K a year. And that's on average. That's on average. 65 to 75K a year, maybe 90 if you can find that company. But on average, because let me see, it's 50 to 60 cents a mile coming in. But when you come in though, New Jack, you're not going to get that 75 off the rip. It is true, like I said, it is true that 75 is attainable. It is attainable, but you're not going to attain it in the first year. You want to know why?
Why?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because rookies never starts at top pay in any field, not just trucking. You work at McDonald's, you're not going to get you when you go into McDonald's and McDonald's say, we start you at $13 an hour. That's not top pay. That's the quote unquote bottom pay to get you in. Once you get in there, you think they're going to automatically give you managerial pay when you come in there? No, you got to work through the company. You got to see what the company is about. You gotta learn the company, and you gotta put in the time. That's what you gotta do. But you're not gonna do that if you don't have the time, if you didn't put in the work or nothing like that. You're gonna come in at bottom pay. And bottom pay for New Jack drivers is, for the first couple of weeks to a month, is gonna be a flat pay for training. So you're gonna get anywhere between $500 to $700 for training, and that's a week. And then after that, depending on the company, you may start off with 45 cents, and then with that you would gradually go up to like 50 or 60 cents. But again, in any case, that's what these recruiters are here for. I guess that's one of the reasons why I kind of slowed down with the MTC, because basically they tell you the same thing. Either they're going to offer you a guarantee pay, or they're going to say something to the effect that, well, yeah, we could get you the miles and all like that, but it's no guarantee in the miles either. Think of it this way. If a company offers you anywhere more than 50 cents a mile, you can guarantee that the miles is not going to be there. And if they offer you more miles, then you can guarantee that the cent per mile is not going to be there. Think about it that way when you're vetting these companies. The second, a lot of you New Jack drivers don't last within the first year or so, is that you find out that it's real work involved with trucking. Now you'll see all these TikTokers sitting in their truck glazing the company that they work for and stuff like that.
We're in the money.
If you're not trucking right now, what are you doing? What are you doing?
They'll be like, oh man, I'm sitting right here in good old California. Okay, that's a pro. If you've never been to California, you're going to be happy about going to California. I never been to California, but when I went down to Compton, California, and I had to overnight there, I had the chance to go over to the Bicycle Casino and play there because I heard so much about it. And I never played there before because I never been to California before. I never been to the Hustler Casino. I've been there. Me and my trainer, first time in California with my trainer. We had to park on the street, but we was able to get in there and play some cards. So was I happy to get there? Yes. When I went there again? Yes. But that's not going to always happen. That's not going to always happen because you're not just driving around being a paid tourist. You're driving because you're paid to drive. Most touristy places either don't allow truck parking or there's just simply not enough room for a truck that's more than 75 feet long to park safely in places. Now think about it this way. Parking is going to be your issue too. Nobody ain't talking about that, and that's a con. They don't tell you that the pro side of it. The pro side of it, if you can find a truck stop up in the Northeast and you're able to park there correctly, safely, and let's just say you still got a little bit more time on your hands, hey, go ahead and catch an Uber across the bridge over to New York City. Enjoy it. Walk around for about an hour and a half because you got to hurry up and get back to your truck because you only got 10 hours to rest. But you already spent 4 of those hours out. Now, when you come back, you still got your adrenaline pumping, and it's going to be hard for you to fall asleep, which you're going to need that sleep, okay? You're going to need that sleep so you can safely drive the truck and not be fatigued. Now, if you're sitting in front of one of them snitch cameras and you happen to yarn just a little bit too much, they're going to send that over to your safety department and say, hey, that driver is fatigued. Then you probably might get a phone call and say, hey, driver, how about pulling that truck over for a minute and get yourself a cat nap? Oh, no, I could do it. I only needed like 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. I'm good. No. The snitch camera says that you're fatigued. You might want to pull over right quick. So yeah. Just know that's a con because you only get 10 hours. But TikTokers, on the other hand, they be glazing. I'm here doing this, doing that, TikTok dancing, and all that other good stuff. Plus, think about this. I was talking about parking as a con, right? But the delivery appointment times don't leave a lot of time for goofing off either. Drivers are paid by the mile, and if the truck isn't moving, then you're not making a dime. But let's go back to where I said appointment times don't leave a lot of time for goofing around. It don't. Because grocery store loads, they deliver around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And you still got to be there on time in order to not get stuck in the dock and get worked in. And then if you have to get stuck in the dock and get worked in, another con is that they tax you for it. They hit you with a late fee and still will work you in. Mind you, there are other trucks there too that's probably missed their appointments or have their appointments. But I'm just saying, there's not no time. Let's say you was out there lollygagging in New York City and all like that. You make it back to your truck and you only got 3 hours of sleep, and you still got about 4 to 5 hours to drive to make it to that 2 o'clock appointment at night still. So think about it that way. I'm just here to share my experience with you guys. You don't have to believe what I say. Nah. You don't have to believe what I say. You can believe what the TikTokers say, because the TikTokers that glaze trucking, they make this shit look good. And they do, because when I watch these female truckers, I'm looking at them. I ain't paying no attention to what the hell they talking about, bro. Shout out to you female drivers. See, trucking vlogs is boring to me. It really is. Like, when I first started, it was probably okay when I first started back in 2015, because I was just getting into trucking and I was interested in it. But 10 years later, it's boring.
I know it's boring.
I'd rather watch a talking head podcast. It's all good, the editing and all like that, but it's boring to me. Don't come after me, okay? All right, if I know a lot of you guys like that style, but yeah, you got time. You got plenty of time. Drivers crashing out in the first year, new jack drivers. This isn't a 9-to-5 job. This is trucking. And I know a lot of people go to that excuse, that age-old excuse. This is not a 9-to-5 job. And it's not. A lot of you drivers that think it is, think again. We drive 11 hours a day. And if you drive with a company that cares a lot about that clock, they're going to try to milk that whole 11 hours a day. If you got 2 hours left on that clock, they're going to try and milk it. 60 to 70 hours a week, no overtime.
What you say?
I said no overtime. How is that possible if we driving 60 to 70 hours a week? 40 hours is the full-time work day, and we driving extra 30 to 20 hours extra, and we don't get paid extra?
Nope.
You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky to do 3,000 miles a week. Maybe that will probably kind of coincide with the overtime. But a lot of the time you'll be driving more like 2,500 miles. Okay? Think about that. And no overtime. Now you do get paid detention, but you got to fight for it. You do get paid layover pay. You got to fight for it. You get paid breakdown pay. You got to fight for it. And I know a lot of you is going to disagree with me on that front, but listen, breakdown pay and layover pay is basically the same. It has to be a full 24 hours, right? Detention time has to be after the 2 hours that you give for free. So most of us, we don't get to go home every night. Now, unless we're driving local, right? If we're driving local, we could find a local job and we could probably get home. And don't let people tell you that you can't find a local job. You can. You just got to be residuant when it comes to finding a job and be diligent in looking for something that you want. Now, if you really want to be home on a daily basis and be home every day, there are trucking jobs in your area that you can get up at 9 in the morning, drive all day, and get off at 5 o'clock and be home. There are. It's like I said, trucking is not a 9-to-5 job, but you could potentially find a 9-to-5 trucking job. And then you'll be home, and then you'll be off on the weekend. But realize this, okay? Realize this. And this is the same goes for over-the-road truck drivers, regional truck drivers such as myself. The only thing you do when you're going to get home, and I'm making this for the over-the-road truck drivers, everything that we have to do that we have to do over the week, that a lot of you guys take advantage of, we have to do on the weekend. Pay bills on the weekend. Go to the doctor on the weekend. Go to appointments on the weekend. And some company only does the federal mandated 34-hour reset, meaning that as soon as you leave that truck, about an hour to get home, everything it comes off that clock, and once that reset is up, they want you right back in that seat. Some companies don't believe in the traditional get home Friday, take off Saturday, take off Sunday, and get back in the truck on Monday to start another week. That's the reason why some of us do regional, simply for that. But no, a lot of companies like to do the 34-hour reset. So you can come home Saturday and potentially have to be back on the road either Sunday night after that 34-hour reset is up. That ain't no time. And again, that's not enough time for you to do whatever you need to do of importance. Suppose you got family members to take care of. And for the over-the-road drivers, they're tired. As soon as they get off the truck, they're going to hit that bed. They're not going to get back up until 8 hours later. And now that whole time, they need to get ready to get back out there. But for local drivers, though, it probably might be a little bit easier because y'all got a little bit more leeway. You guys got a little bit more freedom to do what y'all need to do. But you got to understand, y'all going to be tired. You got to understand, y'all going to work y'all butt off doing local. So again, trucking, 9 to 5, you're not going to get home every night unless you find that job to get you home every night. Also, another thing that people don't talk about, and another con, and another reason why New Jack drivers crash out. Now, follow me. I know this is a long one, okay? But just follow me here, okay? Just follow me, all right? I promise you, this is some jewels, some gems that you guys are going to want to take with you guys. And I appreciate you guys listening to me this far.
Hold on.
What's going on, guys? I just want to stop the video right here, right quick. If you guys made it this far into the video and you guys like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that like button for me, bro. Hit that like button. It's free. It's free. If you made it this far into the video, man, make sure you hit that like button. It's right up under the video, man. And if you guys like more content like this, consider, okay? Y'all got two options. Well, one, but two options. You can either subscribe for the channel for more, and if you really want to rock with me and get the videos early, make sure you join the channel. All right, shout outs to all my members of the channel that rocks with your man. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the show. Make sure you let the algorithm know that you're messing with the Lockoutmen channel. All right, I appreciate it. Why don't you share this to a New Jack driver that might needs to listen to this too. But if you're a solo driver, right, you're alone in the cab for hours on end with your thoughts. Now, a lot of drivers out here, they crazy. They are alone with their thoughts, and some of those thoughts is not good. You're alone in the cab. Something happened on the home front, and it's affecting you to a point that you can't handle it, and you're gonna need to get off the truck. I just came across a video of a young man in a situation, and he was trying to get home so that he can get his mind right. He's depressed, his mental is messed up, and the trucking company that he was driving for was BSing him around, and his mental state is just getting more messed up by the minute. So you're alone in that cab with your thoughts, whatever they may be. Now, you can pass the time by listening to the Lockoutmen Podcast down the road. I guess that's why we try to make it long enough so that you can get down the road with me in the background, chilling, talking, having good conversations with people, or just commentary. I appreciate that again. Thank you very much. But you still can pass the time by getting a satellite radio, which most trucks do come with, but you got to pay for the subscription. So there's ways to occupy your mind while you're driving these long 11 hours down flatlands. Hopefully you'll get there safe, right? If you run teams, that might be a good thing. But think about this though. The good thing about running teams is that you have a team driver. You have a team driver, y'all able to pass the time, y'all can bump off of each other and make it happen. But on the flip side of that, the con is that you're in a metal box the size of a residential bathroom for 24 hours a day. I hope you get along with your co-driver. You got to make it so that you can get along with your co-driver. The incentive to keep moving, to keep earning, but you're going to get hemmed up with rush hour traffic, stop and go traffic, and that's going to cut into your pay too. Weather conditions, constructions, that's going to delay you. Again, you're only going to get between 60 to 50 cents a mile, depending on the company you drive for. When you break it down, that's about $300 for 600 miles a day. And again, that's just my opinion. You probably make more. Okay, so don't come in the comment section talking about, oh, I do more than that in a day. Good. I'm glad for you. But I'm not talking to you though. I'm gearing this towards the New Jacks, because the question was asked why they crash out in the first year. Now, let's just say that you're going down I-80 or I-70 in the wintertime, or you going towards Colorado, Utah, those crazy ass chain states where they have a tendency of closing the interstate when the weather gets extremely bad. Those are terrible conditions in January. Now, you might end up getting more than 300 miles, and you might not, but you're working your ass off to concentrate or not slipping and sliding on those black ice roads out there. Maybe you have to pull over and put chains on. You still got to concentrate about high winds that's pushing you from side to side and hope to pray that the wind don't gush you so hard that it tips you over and you fall on your side. You working twice as hard but being paid half the day. There's a lot that goes into trucking that a lot of these glazers don't tell you. But they'll be the first to be like,
we're in the money.
If you're not trucking right now, what are you doing? What are you doing? I just made the biggest paycheck ever. Ever. I can't show it yet. Or can I show it? I can't show it. Well, I can show the paycheck once it comes Friday, but if you're not trucking, what are you doing? Stop being scared. I was scared. I'm about to make, in a week. This was a week. When I get paid, I'm gonna show y'all. We get to see it in advance because, well, my co-driver is my boss.
okay, but what about when you get your CDL? What you got to go through to get your CDL? Got to pay that money, about $5,000 or more. Got to get your DOT med card, and you got to pass the drug test. The backside of that, though, if you don't get your med card, your CDL ain't nothing but a brick, a placeholder, an accomplishment that you can say on social media that you got, but you can't do nothing with it because you don't have your med card. The doctor won't give it to you because of your condition, whatever the case. Also, if you don't pass the drug test, you're going to automatically be in the FMCSA's clearinghouse, and you got to go through the SAP program. And once you go through the SAP program, for whatever reason, it could be for not passing the drug test or refusing the drug test. Yes, they'll put you in the FMCSA clearinghouse because you refused the drug test. Now, maybe you had 10 opportunities to get at. Now, you only have 2 opportunities. And one of them is a black ops company that's going to just royally take advantage of you. But back to being on them roads and trying to concentrate on getting down the road safely. When they close the roads, because they will do that on 70 and 80 and going across that little strip right there, now you're not making no money. Hopefully you're making your layover pay, depending on how long you hemmed up. Stuck at a rest area or a truck stop or even on an off-ramp, you're not making no money. You're not making no money at all. And don't forget the speed limits vary from place to place. If you're in California, you automatically make driving 55 miles an hour. Maybe anywhere else you driving 70 plus, but your truck only goes 65 though. I know I've been talking for a long time and I do appreciate you guys listening. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I've been driving for a long time. I've been driving for close to 10 years. I like it. It's for me. I've been doing it. It's something that I wanted to do, something that I wanted to get into. So for me, driving, I'm good. Oh, I would also say that if you're over the road driving, it does affect your relationship. I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but just know that if you're a young driver and you have a girlfriend, wife, or something like that, try to keep the relationship tight.
Why?
Because trucking can throw a wedge in your relationship. So with that said, if it's a career in trucking is what you want, is what you make of it. But you got to go in with both eyes open and filter out the bullshit that recruiters shove in your face all the time. It can be a rewarding career. If you need to get home a lot, get lonely easy, or need constant supervision or attaboys, or attention. Well, attention probably could be different because you probably might be doing this for internet attention. So, but if you need that attention all the time, then maybe, just maybe, trucking isn't for you. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any links or videos or anything that you'd like to send me, You can hit me up in the Gmail. That's lockoutmenpodcastguest at gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll come back at you with another one.